All right, picture this. You're in the middle of something, or maybe you're in the middle of, well, nothing at all. And then it happens. Your hand just reaches for your phone. You unlock it, scroll for a second, and then you stop. And you can't even remember why you picked it up.
I mean, you didn't plan to do it. There wasn't some big conscious decision, right? No specific goal.
It just happened. It's a simple little physical movement that you do over and over all day long.
And that's the key word, isn't it? It's almost automatic. It feels like you're not even the one in the driver's seat for that decision.
So, why does this keep happening? Well, here's the thing. This behavior isn't random at all. It's actually a system, and today, we're going to break down exactly how that system works. Okay, let's get into it. The first piece of this whole puzzle, it's not some big life-altering choice you make. Nope, it's the total opposite. It's this tiny, almost invisible action, what we call a micro-habit. I mean, just think about it. Picking up your phone, it's so easy, it's super quick, it takes basically zero mental or physical effort. And because there's no friction, your brain doesn't even bother to fight it. It's not sitting there asking, hey, should we really be doing this? It just goes with the flow. And because it's so easy, it can just completely bypass your conscious brain. And just like that, it becomes your default behavior, something you just do without thinking. Okay, so how does this tiny little action get so powerful that it becomes totally automatic? Well, it's all driven by this really powerful psychological engine. You've probably heard of it before. It's called the habit loop. It's this super simple three-step process, but when you repeat it enough, man, it gets wired deep into your brain. So first up, you've got the trigger. That's the cue that starts everything. Then you have the action. That's you checking your phone. And finally, the reward. That's the part that tells your brain, hey, that was pretty good. Let's remember to do that again.
Now the trigger, it doesn't have to be some big flashy notification buzzing at you. Actually, most of the time, it's the absence of something. You know, that little awkward pause in a conversation, that moment you're waiting for an elevator, that sudden wave of boredom, even just silence. Your brain has learned that these empty moments are the perfect time for an action.
And that's exactly what it is. It's a learned response. Seriously, your hand practically moves on its own because you've trained it to. After doing it thousands and thousands of times, your brain has built this superhighway connection between feeling bored and pick up phone.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The reward that keeps this whole loop going, it's not actually the content. It's not that funny video or that important email. In fact, most of the time you check, you find nothing, right? The real reward is the possibility of something new. It's the anticipation. It's that little dopamine hit your brain gets just from the chance of a notification. That what-if feeling is what's so powerful.
So what happens when this simple little loop runs over and over and over again? Well, it has a much bigger impact than you'd think. This isn't just about a simple action anymore. It's about what all that repetition does to your mind.
And I mean, the numbers are just wild. Many of us are running this loop more than 100 times a day. 100! Each one feels like nothing, just a tiny little blip. But add them all up, the cumulative effect is massive. See, every single time you glance at your phone, you're creating a micro-interruption. You're breaking your state of focus, even if it's just for a couple of seconds. And all those tiny little breaks, they add up. They start to chip away at your ability to concentrate deeply, to just be present. It's a phenomenon known as attention fragmentation.
So why don't we even notice it happening? Well, because each individual check is so quick and so small, you just forget about it instantly. Like you have no memory of the 87th time you checked your phone yesterday, do you? But all those tiny forgettable moments, they combine to create a new baseline, a pattern of constant distraction that starts to feel, well, completely normal.
Okay, let's zoom out for the last piece of this puzzle. It's really easy to look at this and think, oh, it's my fault, I just have no willpower. But the truth is, this isn't just a personal habit. It's being constantly shaped and encouraged by some pretty powerful forces outside of us.
And this is where we see a huge conflict. Your goal is pretty casual, right? You're just trying to pass a few seconds of boredom. But the goal of the system in your hand, the apps, the platforms, that's totally different. Their goal is to capture and hold your attention. Because in today's economy, your attention is the real product.
And these systems are built from the ground up to do exactly that. They are designed to create those triggers. Think about it. Constant notifications, endless scrolling feeds that never ever run out. The fact that it's all there for you 24/7, all of it is engineered to kickstart and reinforce that habit loop we've been talking about.
So let's put it all together. That automatic check isn't a single conscious choice you're making in that moment. It's the end result of a long, slow conditioning process. It's a behavior that's been triggered, acted on, and rewarded thousands and thousands of times.
So here's the full recipe we've unpacked. You start with that tiny micro habit, something so easy your brain doesn't resist. Then you add a trigger moment, usually just a bit of boredom. That creates the expectation loop, fueled by the possibility of a reward. And finally, you have the repetition effect, which just burns that pathway in your brain until it's the default setting.
And that's really how it happens. It's not some big, dramatic change. It's quiet. It's gradual. It's a process that just hums along in the background of your life until one day, checking your phone feels as natural and automatic as taking a breath.
You know, the first step to changing any automatic behavior is just to see it for what it really is. It's not a personal choice. It's a learned pattern. So now that you can see the whole thing, the triggers, the loop, and the system behind it all, the real question is, what are you going to do now that you know?